Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Adrian's Awesome Accumulation. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bandai's 30-minute fantasy Liber Archer. And as you can see, there's the model kit right there. I have them all painted up. Of course, different paint color scheme from the one he normally looks like on the box. But before we do that, let's take a look at the box. Alright. Alright, so here we have him. This is his original color scheme. As you can see, it's just kind of some like dark greens, some light greens, and then a whole bunch of like kind of like not like a gray, but like his silhouette form is kind of like this like grayish, like dark green kind of color. But yeah, so here we have the 30 minutes fantasy label right there. Here we have the Liber Archer, and then his Japanese name right there on the bottom. And then over here we got like a cool little artwork of his, like armored up form and stuff, and that's pretty neat, pretty cool looking right there. And then we got the Bandai right there, and on the bottom panel right here we have a picture of his silhouette form and like all the armor pieces that he comes with, right, and his weapons and accessories. Here we have like just his silhouette form right there, and then all the armor pieces where they're gonna attach and stuff. And then we have him in some cool poses right here with his bow and arrow. As you guys can see, it looks pretty awesome. And then job change, of course, you can like mix and match if you have any other 30 minutes fantasy model kits or 30 minute sisters or missions. And on the side right here, we just have like a side panel of artwork right there of his just armored up look right there with Liber Archer. And on this side, we have the Liber Archer, this class 1 with the front look, and then a back view right there, and then this cool artwork piece, probably some little story right here, something like that, and then not much else over here. All right, so there's the box. Now let's take a look at the model kit right here. As you can see, this is mine. I did a different, a repaint, and I really like the way it came out. It came out pretty cool looking, if I do say so myself. All right, so let's take off these accessories really quick so I can just show you it's like just like his base form and stuff. All right, well, not his base form, but his armor look. Again, you could take all this armor pieces off and you'll have like the silhouette type, kind of like how I showed you with the Liber Knight. So yeah, so the movement on this guy is really good. I really like the articulation on these. You can get these like legs moving pretty far forward, you can see right there, and on the back, so you have some good range. You got like a double bend at the knee right there, and then his foot kind of swivels. It goes that far forward, that far back, really far back, so you can get a lot of good range of motion and stuff like that. This leg as well, that far forward, that far back. All right, this one's going to be hindered to the side a little bit. See how that one goes pretty far? This one's going to be hindered because of this little armor piece right here. But like if you had them in just like the regular silhouette form, I mean, his articulation is crazy. You can get a whole bunch of cool poses just in his silhouette form. But of course, once you start adding like the armor pieces, right, it's going to be a little bit more hindered and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. So like, I remember somebody in the comments asked me who had better articulation, 30 minutes fantasy or the Megalomaria. And I gotta say, for like the base form, his silhouette form, the 30 minutes fantasy has better articulation. You can get more poses. Like he can move side to side right here on his body, which the Megalomarios can't do that. They're kind of like hindered because they have a thing right there. They can only go like backward and forward. But yeah, that's why I kind of said like the 30 minutes fantasy is way better at articulation. But yeah, so here we have his arm right there. It can go all the way up, all the way to the side, and then this piece, this shoulder piece, kind of like moves back and forth right there. And then you got this piece right here is kind of like attached to his backpack, and it's kind of comes like forward and stuff like that. But you gotta move that out of the way when you're gonna like pose them and stuff like that. But yeah, see, but like really good range. He does have a single bend at the elbow right there. His hands kind of just move and stuff like that. I mean, you can't twist it, but it's kind of like horizontal. I don't know if that's like, let me see if I can show you guys. See, like it's like horizontal. I don't like the way those are, but like yeah, you can twist it, but it's just really weird. I don't know why these 30 minutes most of the 30 minutes labels are kind of like that with the wrists, so that's pretty weird. But other than that, that's his mobility. I gotta say it's pretty good. His head, look all the way to the side, look up, that basically that high, look down like that and stuff. I think you can move his neck, so his neck moves also. Again, you got the crunch right there, the stomach, and on the back. You can move side to side, like I said. So yeah, pretty good articulation and range of mobility overall. His armor pieces do move because, you know, they're on these little things, so you can move this out of the way or whatnot, however you want. This one's kind of like just pegged in at his knee cap right here, so you can twist it a little bit, but not that much. This armor piece right here uh, is connected to his front little armor piece right here on his waist. So this one can move like up and down just a little bit right here and stuff. And this was attached to a back piece too, but like when I was inking him or like panel lining him, a little bit too much got on this piece right here and it kind of broke off. I didn't know that that stuff makes the plastic brittle, so I was like, oh man. I was like, when I was doing him the whole like his stomach and his other armor pieces, I was like, man, I hope it didn't get like a whole bunch on the other pieces, because I didn't want him to break, because I put a lot of time painting it on this guy. So, but thankfully it was just that little piece, and he's still attached up here, so that can still move. So that's pretty much it for the articulation, and stay with me and I'll show you his accessories. All right, guys, here we are with the accessories. Let's start off with his quiver. As you can see, here's his quiver. And I painted this. This was like a kind of like that darkish gray color green that I was telling you about. I kind of like this little clip right here. But so yeah, I painted this brown. I painted like the little buckles right here, gold and stuff like that. And you know, I think it came out pretty nice. I did some panel lining. You know, first time using that. Thank God it didn't get like, I didn't put so much onto it, because you know, later on, like I said earlier, that it was brittle and stuff. You can see some markings that didn't really do a good job. But I think it kind of looks like it gives it that worn look. So that's not that bad. So yeah, hopefully it didn't. Thank God it didn't break. So, but yeah, as you can see, and you know, just a little gold right here, I think makes it stand out just like that much better. And then his arrows right here are like separate or different accessory pieces right here, and they do come apart. Well, that they're not like clipped on or anything. You just kind of like smush them together and stick them in the quiver. But like, as you can see, there are different parts right there. I just painted them silver, and then the top little like arrow like featherings right here, painted brown. So there's that. And as you can see, there's, you just kind of like bunch them up, and then you just put them in here. Let's see. And then you got the quiver, which looks pretty cool on his back and stuff like that. So pretty neat accessory. And then here we have his bow. As you can see, this one has a little bit of articulation right here. So like that, I guess, like when he's like holding it, right? And then you just lift it up, so like when he's gonna shoot. And then this one I did paint brown again, with a little bit of like the green on him, and a little bit of gold to make it like, you know, more like a woodland kind of like color, you know, like bow and arrow, kind of like an elf look, kind of like, you know, like a wooden, like a knight that's in the forest and stuff like that, you know. So I think it came out pretty good. And yeah, of course I didn't get any of the color in there, so like that's that dark green, but you know, whatever. And then right here kind of missed a spot, but like, you know, you're not gonna see it because this is where it's gonna be holding it. So other than that, you know, pretty cool accessory right here. And then we got, you know, a single arrow. This is when he shoots. Again, I painted the tip silver, and then it came with this little like metal rod right here to like attach this little point, and then you attach this to like the little feathering back here, which I painted silver and then brown again. And then his he has a hand, his like arrow holding hand. This is the only one he comes with. You know, this goes on the right, so like you're gonna attach like the little middle rod, you're gonna attach it between these two fingers right here, and then you're gonna put that in, and then that's how it's gonna shoot the arrow. So that's pretty cool. Got that. Of course, we got, you know, some fisted hands right here, which I did paint up. So there's that one. We got a open palm hand right there. And then we have another closed fist on him and an open hand on him. So there's two of those. And then we got two, holding hands right here. So this one's for, of course, to hold the arrow and maybe like a sword or something if you want to like mix and match with other 30 minutes fantasies. So there's that. Then we got this chest piece for his like silhouette form. You take this piece off right here and you put this one back on. So there's that. And then you got some clips, which if I remember, these ones were for like holding the shield or something like that on the Liber Knight. I remember it was one of them. I think it was this one, and this one is probably just to like hold it on like his backpack or something like that. This clip right here, I remember was to hold his sword, like you attached it to his side right here and stuff, and then he can hold his like sword. So like again, you can mix and match and stuff like that. I do have another clip that he comes with. This one right here. So I kind of put this on him on this back, and then you just kind of like clip the bow and arrow right there, right? And then bam, he has it on his back. And then this one clips onto like these little pieces right here, which he has one attachment right here, one attachment right there, and this is also where this little like armor pauldron piece is attached. So yeah, so you just put that in here like so, and then he has his quiver on him. So that's pretty much the accessories. And then I don't know if I went over the color, like what I was thinking anyway, but like yeah, like I was saying, I kind of want to make him like like an armored Alvin Archer type of guy. So like he was based like in the forest and stuff like that. So I gave him like these greens, like this brown for like tree bark. I think it came out a little bit too bright, but like like maybe like in my head, it's like kind of camouflage, like when he's in the forest and stuff like that. So it's mixed with like light greens, dark greens, like the browns for like the trunks of the trees and stuff like that. So yeah, that was my idea anyway, and I think it came out pretty good. So yeah, and then I painted them with like little gold like trims and stuff like that, which I think add a lot of cool detail. So there's that. All right, you guys, stick with me and I'll show you some posing. Pose 1, hunting game. Pose 2, ace marksman. Pose 3, always ready. Pose 4, I serve with honor. Pose 5, volley attack. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's the 30 minutes fantasy Liber Archer done and complete. I really enjoyed this one, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. I really recommend the 30 minutes fantasy. These guys are really cool model kits, and you can paint them up and make them look however you want and customize them to your heart's content. I really like these model kits. I recommend. So see you later, guys. God bless.